Welcome to practice. I'm Donna Cavanough. We're going to begin our practice standing today, and we're going to be concentrating on standing poses. If you like to have a chair handy that assists you with balance, then just have that near you. I always find a blanket useful for when we do our laying down on the floor postures or sitting postures. Taking some deep breaths now in your Tadasana pose. And I like this Tadasana where you have your feet width and parallel. A little twist on the classic posture. Helps us tune into how balanced we are when the feet are right under the hips, when the toes turn neither in nor out, and the legs are parallel. So feeling that. Good, and we're going to lift the front torso, open the upper arm, and the palms in. Lengthen your lower back by sending the tailbone down. Good, and just feeling if there's tension trying to hold your head in place in your neck. And let's let that disperse because we've got a really beautiful foundation now with the feet, the legs, the torso, the arms. So let's pendulum the neck a little from side to side. That means left ear, left shoulder, right ear, right shoulder. And make it a curious movement. So don't go too fast. Slowing down. And as you slow down the movement, you might notice the mind slows down a little. And then we have room to observe the feeling of the movement and the flow of breath. And they start to feel like they come from the same place. The life force. And back to center. We'll tuck the chin into the chest now. And then looking up. So you come back to center, chin into the chest, looking up. And when you look up, let's try and have a feeling in the back of the neck that we're not squashing the discs in the back of the neck, but rather lengthening the neck as you look up. Even looking up with your eyes. Good, and then balancing your head so it feels nice and balanced. All right, we're going to take the rib cage now, and especially around this cross section of the diaphragm, and make a big, like a hula hoop circle with the diaphragm. So sometimes it can be surprising what kind of movement, it looks simple on the surface, can be challenging in your body. So just check in if there's any tight or stiff spots. And you can always make the movement more subtle. And then the other direction. Beautiful. And then this is a lovely posture, empty sleeves that I have borrowed from the ancient tradition of Tai Chi. We try to move the ribs more than the swinging the hips. So if you think of keeping your hips facing forward and really let the arms and the shoulders be empty. Do you feel the movement of your upper body, your back, your ribs? And the arms just swing. Feel the flow of your breath. Lovely. And back to center. And then a little bit of a forward bend. We've sort of got to crumple forward. Knees bend, chin into the chest. When you go forward as far as your back is comfortable with, you might just go a little way and have your hands on your knees. Or you might crumple all the way forward if it's comfortable. And then we roll ourselves back up. And when you roll up, lift your arms at the same time. Take your arms as high up or as far back as they'll go. Good. And then let yourself crumple forward again. Remember, you can always support your hands onto your thighs and not go all the way if that is better for your body at the moment. Let's come up again. This lovely feeling of lifting the arms, opening the armpits and the chest, looking up. Good, and then crumpling forward. Lifting up. Great. Okay. Now you can either repeat just what we've been doing, the crumpling forward and lifting up, and nice and slow, or you can go faster. It's just sort of the same movement. And when we go forward, we'll lift the arms up behind us, or beside and behind us. Good. Energizing the whole body here. Notice your feet holding you nice and stable. Beautiful. Lovely. Back up to center. All right, we're going to work on the lifting the heels movement, and we're going to add those together. So lifting up, so you're on the balls of your feet, and then we're going to lower down slowly. Nice and slow. Great. And this might be one where if you had a hand on the back of a chair, then you just feel a little less wobbly. But we're trying to hold our legs parallel. So lifting up and lowering down nice and slow. Okay. What about doing that on one leg? Now, a way to approach that would be to lift up your right or bend your right knee so you're on your right tiptoes and then try it from there. So now you're lifting up onto the ball of the left foot and we're lowering down slowly. Whoa. This is way harder. Good. Okay, up onto the ball of the left foot and lowering down slowly. We're going to do 2 more of those. Lowering down slowly. Good, and then 1 more. Lowering down slowly. Great. Okay, let's try it on with strengthening our left leg. So strengthening our right leg. Bend your left leg. So you're on your tiptoes there. And then lift up onto the ball of the right foot. And lower down slowly. Ooh. Let's do that 4 more times. Lifting up onto the ball of the right foot and lowering down as slow as you can. Ball of the right foot. Lowering down as slow as you can. Might be lots of wobbling going on there in your foot and ankle. On to my last one, I think, where I'm cheating. Beautiful. All right, let's do both together again. Stand up on the balls of the feet. Your feet are hip width parallel, legs are parallel. Great. And just for a moment, try closing your eyes and holding that. And if you can keep your eyes closed, try lowering down now, really slowly, your heels, or you can open your eyes. Whoa. Okay. So we get really effective strengthening for the feet and ankles here. Let's lift up onto the balls of the feet again. Try closing your eyes, even if it's just for a moment, just feeling that your feet work harder when you close your eyes. And then lower down, eyes closed if you can, or open them if you need to. Whoa. Okay, so feet will be nice and warmed up now. We're going to take a forward bend. I'll just go sideways so you can see the shape of my back. We're going to bend the knees. The feet are back on the ground and they feel the floor. So feel each toe is doing its little part of balancing you. The knees are a little bit bent and we've got the hands on the thighs. And we're going to do like we would if we were arching the spine up and down. So I guess you could call it the cat stretch, but in a standing position. And what I want you to find is your movement all the way along that range of movement. Keep your legs bent so that hamstrings aren't restricting your back movement. And again, you make these large or small movements depending on how your back is feeling. Good, and we're going to roll up. I'm going to make a little bit of a back bend. So lifting the front of the legs, lifting the breastbone, just let the arms dangle down from the shoulder and feel the heart looking up. Taking some deep breaths. Good. And then knees are bent, hands are on the thighs, and we make our cat stretch movement, arching the spine forward and back. So you can be less into the posture, is going to be easier on your back. Deeper into your forward bend is going to be more challenging. Finish your position, whether you're sort of standing or you're leaning forward, with the spine arched forward. Good. And then take the torso out as far as you're comfortable with. You can keep your hands on your legs, or maybe they reach the floor or further down to your feet. Keep your legs straight on one side and letting that alternate. Hold it for long enough, the stretch, so you really feel it. Try not to avoid it. And keep breathing. Keep the bones of your spine in bed. Lovely. And then we're going to roll up. Good. Take your arms up. Urdhva Hasana. And Tadasana. Okay, so now for our standing poses. Face the long edge of your mat. Tadasana. And you decide how you're going to move between parallel legs and wide legs. So you can jump or gently step out, whatever feels like you need it. Let's go to the right side for Trikonasana. So right foot turns out parallel to the long edges of the mat. Right heel intersects the left foot inner arch. Look at your left toes. Try to have them turning towards the middle rather than away from the middle. Okay, and then before we do anything else, really feel your feet. So let the balls of the feet be nice and broad, the heels, and each toe has a little part to play in the balance. The wisdom of the feet. Good, and then strong legs, so lifting kneecaps. So we have strong, straight legs here. Have the hands at the hips. And we're going to ease the torso out to the right side, just as far as your back is comfortable with. Back up to center and ease the torso over to the left side. And we're going to go from left to right, exploring your hip movement, especially in your right leg here. As you feel the flow of your movement, moving nice and slowly, find the flow of your breath. And we feel the movement and the breath emanating from the same place. That feeling of flow in your movement. Good. All right, the next time we reach out to the right, we're going to reach as far as we can and take your right hand down onto your right leg for your Trikonasana. Take your left arm straight up to the ceiling. I still can't demonstrate that one. I will get there. We have the left. If you can't do that, like me with an injured left shoulder, you're going to put your hand on your left hip, but really roll back the left shoulder, the left rib. We're lifting the kneecap. Explore your reach in this pose. Good, and then we're going to lift up. Nice work. And we'll turn the feet to the second side. Trikonasana. Aligning your feet and feeling the wisdom of your feet. So your foundation is sound. Lift the kneecap, strongly. Good. Hands at the hips, and let's take the torso all the way to the left and all the way to the right. And we're going to keep exploring that movement, particularly we're looking at the movement of the left hip, feeling that each time we reach out, it folds in a little deeper. We let the body discover that feeling of flow, of being more comfortable in movement, more present. Sometimes it's challenging or difficult. Sometimes it just feels really good. Feeling the flow of your breath. Good. The next one that you reach out, hold that. Take your left hand onto your left leg. Roll back the right hip and the right rib and the right shoulder. And take your right arm straight up. Lifting kneecap. And then inhale. And coming up. Nice work. Back to feet facing forward. And we're going to turn the toes in. We're going to forward bend again. You just go as far as your back is comfortable with. Bend your knees. And if you can reach far enough forward, you can, and your hands reach the floor, put them on the floor under your shoulders. Bend your knees so that again we can make the cat stretch movement for the spine. Arching the spine up and arching the spine. Feel that each toe plays its part in balancing you here. The legs are bent, so we give the back room to move. Okay, and the next time that you bring the spine down or forward, look forward and then straighten your, lift your kneecaps, quadriceps, dip. Good. Bend your knees, roll your torso up. Good, and then jump or step back 2 feet underneath your hips. Tadasana. Step your feet apart a little bit wider. Right foot out at 90 degrees. And we're going to make Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. I've got my hands at the heart. Press them. Bend your right leg. So your feet are aligned and you feel the wisdom of your feet and strong legs. Lift the pelvic floor. We want the bent knee, the right knee, to move to the little toe side of the foot. The left hip to roll back. We're trying to bring the front of the torso to face that long edge of the mat as much as we can. Nice. We're going to take the arms. Now, left hand on your left leg, right arm by your right ear, and we're going to reach back and bend as deeply into your right leg as your body allows. We're going to open the heart towards the ceiling. Lifting pelvic floor, lifting front core of the body. Great. And then bring your arms out at shoulder height for Virabhadrasana 2. Looking over your right fingertip. Good. And then we will release and change the feet to the second side. Bending your left leg, hands begin in front of the heart. Feeling the feet, the strong legs, the lift of the core body. Good. And see if you can roll back the right hip. Watch that left knee. It's going to want to head towards the big toe side of the foot. Roll back the left knee. Facing the front torso to the long edge of the mat. Beautiful. Put your right hand down onto your right leg and your left arm by your left ear and really stretch. Good. And then bring your arms to shoulder height. Good. Lifting pelvic floor. Virabhadrasana 2. Lovely work. Coming up. Turn your feet to the front. Now, this time we're going to turn the toes out. Sit down. So bend the knees and hands in front of your heart. Finding the flow of your breath. Nice and deep for me. They were hard work. All right, we're going to lift up the heels. And put them back down. And lift up the heels. And put them back down. Good, and then releasing. And you're going to wiggle or step or jump your feet back to your Tadasana. And we're going to make a forward bend. And that could be just a little way with your hands supporting if you're vulnerable in your back. Or you could really go for it and reach the top of the head forward. But bend your legs enough to really feel you can still get a little bit of movement in the spine and ease the spine. Well, the head is reaching out in front. Keep the back, the front of the neck, the sides of the neck as long as you can, and take the shoulders back. Tuning in to lengthen. Great. And then bend the knees and inhale. And coming up. We'll take the arms up. Urdhva Hastasana. And Tadasana. Lovely. All right, a little step out now. We've been working on this Ardha Chandrasana movement, which means that you'll be balancing on one leg. We're going to turn the right foot out so it's parallel to the edges of your mat. It's not a big stance between your feet. And in fact, you can easily bend your knees and move from side to side without moving the feet. And that's what we're going to do, just waking up, shifting the balance. I've still got my right heel lining up with the center of the back foot arch. Good, so you just bend as deeply as your knees are comfortable with here. Now, this is one particularly where A chair could be useful. The seat of the chair could be something that you put your hand onto to try and lift your back leg. So if you want to have that in place, grab that. Otherwise, we're shifting weight. And then we're going to shift the weight and hold it. And you're going to lift up onto your left tiptoes. So the weight is over the right leg. And we're going to turn the hips and the front of the torso so that it's parallel to that long edge of the mat. Great. Now, you might be able to work with your arms out from your shoulders here. I think I'm going to stick with hands at the heart. Feel the core of your body really lengthening as though you could take off from the ground. So the core is lifting. Good. And you can even try that. Just lift the toes off the floor, the left toes off the floor. And if you want to keep taking this posture further, then we bring the torso closer to parallel to the floor and the leg follows. So the leg is lifting and the torso is lowering. Okay. And then at some point you start to just lose your balance. Well, I do. Okay. Let's come back to standing, 2 feet on the floor. They're not that wide apart. You've got room to move your balance from side to side. Good. Okay, let's take the balance again into the right foot. We're up on the left tiptoes. Try that work again of taking the left hip back, front plane of the body, parallel to the long edge of the mat. And try it again. Let's see if we can just get the toes shy of the floor so that we're balanced here. And try moving into your posture, without tipping the left hip forward. Good. And then releasing. Okay, and then we'll turn around to the second side. So if you're using your chair, take it to the other side, or you can turn around on your mat. All right, so we don't have a very big distance between the feet. That makes it easier to get the hang of this shift of weight. And where we want to feel that is in the feet and the legs. Good, let's shift the weight into the left leg, up onto the right tiptoes. And then really working on that lifting of the right hip. So we bring the front plane of the body parallel to the long edge of the mat. And then we're going to try and lift the right tiptoes off the floor. Just assessing the situation. Good. Your arms can be out from your shoulders, or your hands can be at your heart. Giving it a try. Good, let's come back. We're going to reassess. So shifting the weight from foot to foot. Just feeling as that happens, when the weight really gets over that left foot. And then let's hold it, weight over the left foot, up onto your right tiptoes. And again, let's roll the right hip back, shining the heart outward. Good. And then see how you go, lifting that back foot off the floor. And you might be able to lift the leg and bring the torso parallel to the floor. Ardha Chandrasana. Good, and then releasing back to your feet underneath the hips. Tadasana. It feels so lovely to come back into this very balanced, very structured position. Let's let tension that we may have accrued in our shoulders out. So shoulders up to the ears and back. Both sides. Feel how that beautifully moves the ribs, even the spine. Letting go of tension. Lovely. All right, we're going to be laying down now. So think about how you move from standing to laying. If you would like one smooth movement, if you stand at the bottom of your mat, position and roll slowly back. So it's not a big thump. Otherwise, you take your as many movements as you need. Using your wisdom. All right. We're going to bring the left heel to the right knee. Now, the movement is to move the left knee away from the chest, so that you feel the external rotation capability of your hip. Let's give the mind a rest and just feel the breath and the space in the left hip. Follow the breath with your movement, with your awareness. Now, this might be plenty of work. There's enough challenge going on. You can keep your right foot on the floor. If you need more of a stretch, then pick up the right foot as well and take hold of your right thigh if you and then releasing. And then the right heel on the left knee. And at first, we keep the left foot on the floor and just explore that movement of your right knee moving away from the chest, the external rotation of the right hip. Letting that joint be spacious. Okay, and this might be enough. You can keep your left foot on the floor, keep working with the breath, or lift the left foot and hold the left leg, keeping your shoulders and your head on the floor. And again, exploring the and the flow of the breath. Good. And releasing. We're going to bring the inside edges of the feet together and the knees together. Lift the hips and swing them to the right, and the knees go to the left, looking over your right shoulder. Use your core to lift the legs. Lift the hips, swing them left, and knees go right, and you're looking back over your left shoulder. Use your core to lift the leg. Good. Hug your knees into the chest and rock. Okay. and then happy baby pose. Mm. So your back is thoroughly supported. You can just let it relax now. Your hips relax, your belly relax. Mm. Deep breath. And the last little part of this is to be in bamboo pose. Now, if you're feeling vulnerable in your back, it might be that a better posture for you is to put the blanket under your hips and then just keep your feet on the floor and let your lower back relax. Otherwise, you can take your legs up and balance them in bamboo pose. You can add whatever arm movement works for you. So they might be straight out from the shoulders or in cactus arm, where the elbow is straight out from the shoulder and the back of the hand towards the floor and the elbows at 90 degrees. Or because I'm vulnerable in my shoulders currently, I'm just going to put my hands on my belly. Mm. We're going to explore the breath a little here, where you breathe in and then breathe out. There's a change in direction, part of that breath. So there's a little tiny pause that we don't even really notice. But we're going to extend that pause. So we're going to breathe in, holding there, and then breathe out, and then stop, and then breathe out a little bit more, and then a little bit more, and then hold that pause. And then feel the in-breath naturally really filling the body. Okay, so it's a nice, satisfying breath in. You pause, then you breathe out a little bit and you pause, and you breathe out a little bit more and you pause, and then you let out the whole breath and you pause, and then you breathe in. So we're just trying to extend our exhalation. And don't extend it so much that you feel like you're having to suck in the in-breath. So it just should feel like a really satisfying intake of breath. And then returning to your natural breath. Lovely. Take the feet down if you're in your bamboo pose. Just feet on the floor now, and your back is supported. So we're exploring those parallel legs again, letting the belly be really relaxed, the back relaxing now into its own shape. feeling the flow of your breath, the vitality of the body. Beautiful. And then gently rolling yourself to your right side. And when you're ready, come up and have a seated position. Take the feeling of the practice with you. Namaste.